Chuck, I have trivia for you, which I know this is normally not the way we do things, right? It's one question. If you make it, you make it. If you don't, you don't. This is for all the marbles today. You ready?
Yes, I was pretty good at marbles growing up, so.
Me too. Loved them. My brother won a competition, went to New Jersey, got third in nationals. Pretty cool. Anyway, what do?
Good job, EJ.
That's true. And great job delivering bread and stuff. What does the Sahara?
Wow. Way to downplay everything else that he's done. You really peaked at
Yeah,
that third place in the marble tournament.
He doesn't even do that anymore. It's not even his job anymore for like the last 5 years. Okay. What do the Sahara, the Great Victoria, and West Virginia all have in common?
What was the first one?
The Sahara.
I thought you said Harrah's. I was like, are you talking about casino?
What do the Sahara, the Great Victoria, and West Virginia all have in common?
John, I'm an expert on these things, some might say, on arid climates. In fact, I was going to say deserts, not to be confused with desserts, which is what I'm going to have after this.
Me too. Just got Colin Kaepernick's Ben and Jerry ice cream. Pretty good stuff. Anyway, yes, you're right. They're all deserts. And I know what you're thinking. West Virginia has no deserts when it comes to the physical landscape of the state. But you're wrong, Chuck. They have food deserts all throughout.
Well, to be fair, when coal companies blow the tops off of mountains, it kind of looks like a desert. So,
okay. Well, as Chuck gets off his
fuck mountaintop removal. Anyway.
Okay. Why are we talking about this? Really simple. There's right now a ton of communities that are going through issues like food deserts. Food deserts we've talked about before, essentially where people don't have access to grocery stores or fresh produce or anything like that, so they have to drive like 20 miles to go to the nearest store. Right now in McDowell County, West Virginia, they are living in a food desert. Walmart there is closed, which has led to a huge job loss. I mean,
huge.
Let's face it. Walmart, which is as many of the bad things that they do, they are at least one of West Virginia's leading employers when it comes to our communities. So when they leave, it's a massive issue. Well, they could easily, this community in McDowell County could easily just kind of throw their arms up and quit on themselves and think, woe is me. That's not what they're doing, Chuck. So I feel like we have to talk about this because I think these people deserve the help. What they're doing, they've started a GoFundMe, and we'll put the GoFundMe in the show notes. They're trying to raise $20,000 because they want to create their own community grocery store, which I think is a great idea.
I think it's a fantastic idea. Food insecurity is a huge problem in West Virginia, throughout Appalachia. McDowell County, one of the most rural parts of West Virginia. Really, I mean, if you think about it, you mentioned Walmart closing. It's huge for food. And it's hard to tell how far some of these folks have to go and how much gas they have to use and how many miles they have to put on their cars to get food, just to live. So it's something that we really care a lot about. And when someone told us about this fundraiser, what they're trying to do, trying to build a community grocery store, what is that what they're calling it?
Yeah, so essentially it's this group called the Economic Development Greater East. It's a nonprofit in McDowell County. What they're calling it Mountain Farm Community Grocery.
Right. Yes. So they're trying to raise $20,000 to start the Mountain Farm Community Grocery. And this would fund a complete purchase of a building for the grocery to be able to open by this fall, and it would pay for flood and liability insurance and legal services to acquire the full grocery space. Two really, really big hurdles for opening something like this. And, this is something, again, that I really think is a great idea, and I would really love to see it happen. If you have $5 to throw at this, great. If you have $1, great. If you have 100, great. Whatever you can, it would be a huge for them. It'll be huge for them.
Yeah, I mean, opening this store will allow them to reduce hunger. It will essentially create food security within the community itself. And let's think the communities outside of it as well, because they'll have access to it. This is going to be something that's really big for that county. And it's something that we should all support because look, this is Appalachia. We're all in this together. Right. And we know that these things are happening and they're going to continue to happen. So if we can have a group like Edge, which is what they call themselves, if we can have them meet this goal, open this grocery store, and allow their people to continue to live the lives that they deserve to live, maybe it'll happen in other communities, and that's what we need.
Yeah. And yeah, exactly. This could be the blueprint for something else like this happening in other places. Cool. So we've decided that we're going to do a $200 match to this GoFundMe. So if you're listening to this, shoot us an email or a message with like your receipt that you
Yeah,
don't.
show us a screenshot or something.
Yeah, you don't have to put any important information in there. Just
No.
showing that you donated. We will match up to $200 total and pull that from our Patreon for this so that we can help them get some more money in the door. Great fundraiser, great thing. Really hope it's successful. Check it out. It's in the show notes right now. I'm going to put a pause in here for 5 seconds so you can scroll down and click on that right now.
Keep scrolling. A little bit more.
You got it? You got it. All right. You're already hooked. Made it. All right. Thanks. And Ian, remember to shoot us info@Appalachia with a screenshot of that, or you can DM us and let's do this. Let's help out the folks in McDowell County. So Easter is coming up. Easter. And it made me think of religious symbols. I'm probably going to catch some shit for this one, but do you think it's weird, because I do, that the cross is the symbol of Christianity? Because when you think about it, it was just another way of capital punishment. So it would kind of be like us wearing nooses around our neck if Jesus were hanged and not crucified.
I've never put any thought into this.
Great. Okay. Well, I haven't either. I thought it was weird, but the other symbol that I really want to get into is the Easter Bunny, because I don't understand it at all.
Okay, yeah, I literally no idea why it's the Easter Bunny.
So, what is it about a giant rabbit that hands out treats to kids that signals the death and rebirth of Jesus Christ?
Yeah, I I don't understand the fascination with eggs either. There are also other animals that lay eggs. Why?
Not bunnies.
Look, if we were right, if we were talking about like really the best animal for laying eggs, easy, dinosaurs. Boom, let's go.
I would fully support moving to make a dinosaur the chief mascot of Easter.
100%. Also, don't platypuses lay eggs?
I know nothing about platypi, platypussy. I don't even know what the plural is.
Let's look that up. Platypus eggs? Eggs? Question
Gonna
mark.
get some weird porn with that one.
Oh, whoa. Okay. I got to share this. It is one of only 2 mammals, I can't believe I knew this, that lay eggs. Females seal themselves inside one of the burrows chambers to lay their eggs, and a mother typically produces 1 or 2 eggs and keeps them warm by holding them between her body and her tail.
Women have to always do all the work for men, don't they?
They do literally all the work. I mean, except there is that one. What's the animal that like they have babies and then the mother just leaves and never comes back?
Humans.
No, that was my dad.
I knew I was teeing you up for a dad joke.
Yeah, he still hasn't brought back those
They're
Marlboros.
vintage now. I mean, did we ever figure out what the plural of platypus is?
Dude, they'd probably be worth some money.
Platypi?
Yeah, platypi. No, I'm kidding. Plural.
Platypi.
Here we go. Platyp. It is.
It's pie. Merriam-Webster says pie. So
Yeah.
platypi.
It's
Plata 3.14.
platypi. Okay, but hold on. Scientists generally use platypuses.
Okay.
So you were right both
I
times.
think platypussy is better, but I won't use it because
Honestly, you put it together and
I respect the science. So I'm going to go with the science on this one. Platypuses, it is.
that's
I would be in favor of either a platypus or a dinosaur, possibly both, being the new mascot for Easter because number one, bunnies are. If you get a giant bunny, it's just kind of terrifying and they're always scary at the mall. Not saying that a person in a platypus suit wouldn't be, but it would at least be more interesting and, it would be more accurate to have eggs then.
also bunnies have really they've run their course. Like they've gotten enough, right? Like their notoriety is at an all-time high. Bring in the platypus, bring in the platypus. I feel like Amanda Bynes, bring in the dancing platypus. uh yeah, so bring them in, let them do their thing where they do they're one of two mammals that lays eggs, which is incredible. They should already be the spokesman of something.
How are we how
So let it be Easter.
how number one, how are they not the mascot of Easter? I'm really pissed off about this to be completely honest. I think it's fucking bullshit. I'm
I
going to
agree.
start a campaign to change it. Number 2, why is it why is there so much platypus erasure in our society? You don't go to the store and see platypus on boxes of eggs. Now, one's going to argue that you're not buying platypus eggs. I don't care. I want to see a platypus on my dozen of fucking eggs. America,
Hold on, because I can tell you
you know
this.
what? For all I know, factory farming bullshit. Maybe I am eating platypus eggs.
Honestly, you might not be wrong. That could be true because we let them put like it probably is like only 50% egg. But let me clarify that my favorite hot dog buns of all time, which are currently discontinued, I have an effort to bring them back, are called bunny buns. Okay, so uh, just letting you know, some food. I'm fine if they're platypus buns. That's fine. Just bring them back.
Okay, all right, that's fine. I just, we just talked about how bunnies have been given too much, and I just don't want to give them more.
That's fine. And I will continue to do the thing where I know how the ties work for the bread companies. So I will continue to know the freshest bread for my platypus buns.
Thank you. Well, Big John, culinary consultant for Appalachia, hit him
Hmm.
up. Speaking of culinary consultants, we have some new Patreon members this week.
Yeah, we have one new, but it's kind of two people. I don't know. Anyway, it's Brett and Courtney. Thank you so much for joining our Patreon. If you're interested, patreon.com/appodlatcha. And some exciting news, we're gonna hold a Patreon exclusive Zoom session on April 7th. What?
I'm just excited. It was my excited utterance. I was saying, "Oh yeah."
Okay. Well, that would be admissible in court under hearsay. So excited utterance. Get out. I'm going to use it. Anyway, April 7th, 7 p.m. We have the Zoom link up on Patreon right now. So if you're a Patreon member, go check it out. Make sure you're there. I think it's going to be a really good time. I'm sure Chuck will be drinking, which drinking Chuck is way better than sober Chuck. That's just my opinion, though. Maybe you form an opinion about it, and we'll hash it out. But April 7th, 7 p.m. Patreon members only.
Glad that the premise of this Zoom hangout is going to be forming an opinion on whether I'm more fun when I'm drinking. Great. So if I don't drink, then we're fucked.
I did not mean to push you into that corner.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here
Um,
first. John's driving me to drink. Okay.
well, we knew that since the start of the
That's
show.
true. That's true. And speaking of which, if you do join our Patreon, which we hope that you do, this week we have another exclusive. We have an exclusive every single week where we do an exclusive segment, usually lasts 15, 20 minutes. Who knows? Who knows how long it'll last this time? But this week, We're going to be doing one on education a little bit and charter schools specifically. And as some of you know, maybe probably not many of you, I worked at a charter school for a brief period of time. Was not a fan of it, and we'll talk about it a little bit, and we'll talk about what some legislatures in Appalachia are trying to do to bring charter schools and school vouchers, that type of stuff, to a home near you. So very interesting conversation, and I'll spill some of the beans for you. So join Appalachia or patreon.com/Appalachia for that. Moving on. Main topic today. I'm actually kind of, I don't want to say excited to talk about this because it's really terrible, but it is something that is very, very important, very interesting. And boy, I mean, it just, when you connect the dots on certain things, it really shows you a pretty terrible picture. And so, what we're talking about today are these anti-transgender bills that are going through several legislatures in and around Appalachia. It's not just Appalachia; it's throughout the country. I think 20 different ones. But some examples of them in Appalachian states, there are at least four that I know of that have either passed or proposed anti-transgender sports ban bills where they're banning transgender kids from playing in sports or playing in the sports that they identify with gender-wise. So if you identify as a boy, playing in boy sports, etc. Those are in West Virginia, Tennessee, Mississippi, Georgia. Alabama has one that's an anti-trans medical ban bill. And so, John, it's interesting because when you start to look at all this, it's really reasonable to ask the question of course, why are they proposing these ridiculous bills? But more so, why is it happening all throughout the country?
I think that's what people forget too, is that it's actually it's not just here. Like it's happening throughout the entire country. I think that there's a misconception that places like West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, Appalachia in general are the only ones that are pushing this agenda, but that's not the case. It's happening everywhere.
It is. And, doing, you don't even really have to do any digging on this, but I started looking it up just because I was curious. And I think this is a really important thing to talk about. And this is something that is both relevant to Appalachia, but pretty much anywhere you live in the United States is, and this is true for a lot of legislation period that goes through state legislatures. It's driven by these national organizations, national special interest groups. And in this case, this legislation, especially really almost anything anti-transgender, is being pushed primarily by three different organizations: Heritage Foundation, Alliance Defending Freedom, and Eagle Forum. And so I wanted to provide a little bit of background on a couple of these before we get into the topic generally about these bills and how terrible they are. And John, I did some digging and I came up with a game for one of them.
Okay.
Are you willing to play?
I'm always willing to play a game.
Beautiful. All right. Well, this game is about one of those groups. It's called the Alliance Defending Freedom. I want to give you a little bit of background on them. They are famous for the Colorado bakery cake incident, if you recall, where a Colorado baker sued because he didn't want to do a cake for a gay wedding. These were the people that were the lawyers helping that person with that case. So, starting off strong. They are a group that was basically founded by a bunch of Christian fundamentalists, claim that they're champions of women, but really are just religious bigots. One of their original founders is this guy named James Dobson, and that is the guy who this game is based off of. John, we're playing religious shit. I fucked up. John, we're playing Jeopardy Religious Bigot Edition.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. I like
so,
this.
John, how this game's gonna work? Good. How this game's going to work is I've got questions, phrased in the form of a question, just how Jeopardy works, and they're all going to be about this guy named James Dobson. And this guy is a fundamentalist Christian, very conservative guy, and he founded Focus on the Family, which is this crazy conservative interest group. Literally thinks that a woman belongs in the kitchen. Like literally, this is the guy for that. So, are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay, question number 1. Dobson's first book was called Dare to Blank, a book about child rearing.
Oh, God. Um, you want to guess the title?
Just the it's called Dare to Blank, so the title, but the blank is the word.
Spank.
Damn, that's not it, but that's pretty good.
Okay. I figured that he might go with that.
It's kind of an allusion to spank. It's Dare to Discipline.
Oh, okay.
This dude was obsessed with spanking, by the way. I just to like lay that out there.
So it wasn't Jerry Falwell Jr.
That yeah, no, this guy wasn't obsessed with watching his wife get fucked by someone else. So,
Okay.
okay. So, question number 2. He believes that this popular Nickelodeon TV character was used to promote a hidden agenda of homosexuality.
It's got to be SpongeBob.
Shit. Yeah, it was. Congratulations.
I knew it.
The We Are the Family Foundation sent American elementary schools I'm explaining the SpongeBob thing.
Right.
This is a different foundation, sent elementary schools approximately 60,000 copies of a free DVD using popular cartoon characters, especially SpongeBob SquarePants, to promote, quote, tolerance and diversity. Dobson contended that tolerance and diversity are buzzwords misused as part of a hidden agenda to promote gay.
Oh boy. Yeah. He is not the first person to use SpongeBob and try and say like, oh man, they're really pushing this gay agenda. Like it blows my mind.
Yeah, I mean, these people will find gay in anything, literally anything. So this is again about children. He said in an interview about children, quote, as long as the blank represent genuine release of emotion, they should be permitted to fall.
About children?
Yeah.
Gender norms.
Incorrect.
I don't know.
So this one was weird, and it was about spanking kind of again. He said as long as the tears that the child is crying, as long as the tears represent genuine release of emotion, they should be permitted to fall. As in fall, as in cry.
Yeah, I get it. That's some ruthless stuff right there.
He's fucked up. Real fucked up.
It sounds like he wants to like put his kid in a UFC ring and just pound them for three rounds.
Well, he was very specific that you don't want to spank too hard.
Okay, well, at least he put that caveat.
Really reins it in, this guy. Okay, so this is another quote from him. Barack Obama was the king of chaos who was using blank as a way to impose tyranny.
Racism.
Sorry, incorrect. Although I can't guarantee that he hasn't said that at some point, but that not in this. It was trans people. So Barack Obama was the king of chaos who was using trans people as a way to impose tyranny.
Maybe what he meant to say was he's using trains to get to places.
No, he definitely meant trans because this dude fucking hates trans people.
That makes sense. Okay. Yep. Makes sense.
He hates them. So this is interesting. This is kind of a more recent thing, current event here. Millions of believers are calling on the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to save them from those who would destroy the nation we love. I believe he will answer our fervent prayers and preserve this constitutional republic. Who was he talking about that the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob was going to save them from?
Democrats.
Judges. I'm sorry, that's technically incorrect.
Liberals.
More specific. I'll give you a pass. More specific.
Okay. AOC.
That's incorrect. I'm sorry. Although, again, can't guarantee he hasn't said about AOC. This was about John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock. He was this James Dobson guy, very fervent that everything happening in Georgia was basically Satan and the trans people just ruining everything, I believe.
Let me guess. This guy also he has a ton of money from what he's doing.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that's what I always find is like I never believe half these people actually believe this stuff. Like they use it because it's their business.
I will say this. I I think this guy might believe. He might
Well,
be a true
I'm not
believer.
saying I'm not saying they don't believe. Well, I did say that, but I should take that back. They're like WWE wrestlers, right? Like they take their personality and they turn it up to 10 when they get a microphone. And I think that that's what these people do. It's like, yeah, they believe this stuff, but they really believe it when you give them a microphone.
Ah,
So
I
that
see.
way they can just rein in the dollars.
Gotcha. Yes. Rein in the dollars while not reining in the bullshit. Makes sense.
Right,
No, I
exactly.
get that. I
Yeah.
feel that. That's probably accurate. Okay, so this one's great, and one of my favorites here. And the question here is, who is he talking to? Who's he talking about, rather?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Sadly, she has prostituted herself with pornography, perversion, pedophilia, profanity. He loved alliteration, infidelity, greed, pride, sexual slavery, premarital sex, the LGBT ideology, illicit drugs, lawlessness, dishonesty, hatred, racism, wanton violence, family abandonment, public schools that are corrupting our young, and apostasy.
Hillary Clinton.
Boy, that is. It's not close, but it is, you know?
Okay.
It's
All right.
not close, but it is.
Yeah, like that definitely could be her.
I think
Uh,
he's probably interchangeable on these, but
more relevant is like to now or
less human.
oh
Yeah,
what?
that's. I mean,
uh,
it's. He's talking about America, and because we allow abortion.
Okay. All right.
See, the abortion was the key component there, but he was talking about America.
Okay.
All right.
Whew.
That was a tough one. Now, this one is
Tough.
you are not going to get this last one, but it is incredible.
Give me a chance. You never know.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, if you're
Miracle on Ice. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
That's right, Rudy. I don't even know what that movie's about. Radio, Cuba Gooding Jr.
It's like here. I'll summarize Rudy real quick. If somebody wasn't letting you do the podcast anymore, but like you really wanted to do it, and I came in and I put my microphone on the person's desk and essentially walked out like I would never do it without you again, that's Rudy.
Okay, it's not Rudy then. Definitely not Rudy.
There's more to it, like Catholic stuff.
Oh yeah, well, Catholic shit and football. That's all you need to know about Rudy.
That's all you need to know.
Ah, Eagles. All right, last one.
Irish.
Whatever. Same thing. Both green. I don't fucking know. That's what we should do. Our next podcast, we're gonna do a show called "I Don't Fucking Know Sports," and it's gonna be you making these references, and I just have to. It's gonna be this in reverse, where I just have to guess all this bullshit.
That's a good point.
The last one, it's possible you get this. I don't know. And this will actually validate your previous point. An interview that Dobson did with blank allowed Focus on the Family, his other group, to make over $1 million in revenue, over half of which went to anti-porn and anti-abortion groups.
So who interviewed him?
Who did he interview? So Dobson interviewed somebody. And I'll give you a hint. This somebody was on death row at the time.
Oh.
He knows it. He knows it. He knows it.
Is it a man?
It is a man. Statistically, it would almost have to be.
Right. I feel like I'm playing Guess Who. So I'm just like knocking down.
Is it a man? Is he gay? Hell no, this is Dobson. No, I'm kidding.
It's is it the dude? Oh god damn it. I don't remember his name. Does he have black hair and it's really crazy? Well, he did have it because he's dead now.
Well, I think he had black hair, but I don't know that it was considered anything.
It was crazy at trial.
Well, okay, I don't know. Let me give you another hint. Zac Efron portrayed him in a Netflix movie.
Ted Bundy?
Ted Bundy. Ted
Wow.
Bundy.
That's not who I was thinking. I was thinking of that producer that like killed his wife.
Oh God. I just was thinking about him the other day because there's a story that came out. Fuck. Shit.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. I can picture the dude in my head. Oh my God. Oh geez, this is gonna bug me. Producer murder. Phil Spector.
Yeah.
Yeah. Phil Spector, that's who it was.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking of. Anyway, so it was Ted Bundy.
It was Ted Bundy because Ted Bundy like found the Lord, I guess, on death row and basically blamed everything that he did on pornography, which was a great opportunity for Dobson to get in there and be like, yeah, tell me more. So you murdered all these women because of porn. And I think you might have also said, was it also a little bit abortion? Was there a little bit of abortion in there that made you want to murder all those people? Come on, buddy. But yeah, it was. He did an interview with Ted Bundy.
He's definitely doing that. He's definitely doing that with the Georgia shooter. 100%. He is gonna do it.
100%. Pretty much any white guy that kills people now, that's what they're gonna do.
Well, specifically though, remember he said he had this
sex addict. Yep.
Yeah, and he's gonna blame it on like Asian porn.
If I had a dollar for everything that dumb white guys blamed on Asian porn, I'd have a lot of money.
What conversations are you in?
I just people I talk to. He's like, yeah, man, wrecked my car because of fucking Asian porn.
Your group chats must be insane.
They are uncomfortable.
Oh, that makes sense, I guess.
Anyway, this guy, James Dobson, first of all, congratulations for winning Jeopardy, I guess.
Yeah.
Sure. You definitely doing better than Dobson. So I wanted to just clarify a point I made earlier that he literally thinks a woman belongs in the kitchen. He believes that it is the role of a wife to be a homemaker and for the husband, the father, to be a breadwinner. And according to his views, women are not deemed inferior to men because both are created in God's image. But each gender has biblically mandated roles. And this old white man recommends that married women with children under the age of 18 focus on mothering rather than working outside the home.
Okay. I have an idea. I know how to change this guy.
Okay. Yeah, he's like 90, but sure.
I don't give a shit. I don't care how old he is. All right. Him and Ronda Rousey.
Okay.
They get in a UFC ring.
See, it's not gonna work. He's gonna sub in his kid.
She'll take them both. She didn't care. Both of them. She just annihilates them. And then while they're like knocked out cold, she puts them in the kitchen and they have to stay there for eternity or the 2 years that guy's got left or whatever.
I'm into it. This sounds like the next season of American Horror Story, and I'm for it.
I think I just wrote a show.
I think you just need to sell that now. Screenplay. That's what we do here. We're going to start a screenplay production company at Appalachia in the hills. Anyway, so I wanted to cap this off. This is Alliance Defending Freedom. They're crazy. And just to point it out, they get all their money from right-wing interest groups that are aligned with Christianity, including the National Christian Charitable Foundation and the DeVos family. So tells you a lot about their priorities.
You know, it's funny though. Like, I wonder how he felt about Betsy getting Secretary of Education.
We probably felt fine about it if she kept cutting him checks.
I know, but she wasn't in the kitchen. She was doing work.
Oh, that's a good point. Nah, see, now that's a dilemma, isn't it? Well, right. Wait. She didn't have any, at that point, she didn't have any kids under 18.
Oh, is that a thing for him?
Yeah, he said if they're under 18, they need to be in the house.
Okay. Well, also, I hate the term breadwinner. Imagine going to the carnival and winning a loaf of bread. You would be pissed.
Yeah, I don't really win anything there, so I guess I wouldn't be that pissed, but it definitely would be underwhelming.
Okay, imagine you win the lottery and they give you like two Flowers Baking Company loaves of bread.
I would be pissed it wasn't King's Hawaiian.
Oh, that's fair.
But I would be
That's fair.
pissed. Yeah, if I had a scratcher and it's like, congratulations, you won bread. It's like
Yeah.
fucking bullshit. Like I'll take it, but I won't be happy about it.
Right. Like I don't understand that term. Like no one's winning bread.
No, I mean, but my wife's the breadwinner. She's certainly not winning bread. She's
My
winning a
wife,
paycheck.
right. That's what I'm saying.
That's why it's every time she get a paycheck, I ring the bell and I say, "Winner!"
Like,
Shut
yeah, I do it like they do at Trader Joe's when somebody makes a donation, they hit the bell. That's what I do every time we get direct deposit.
Yep. Our wives hate
Like,
us.
I would like to thank you for donating to my cause, which is student loans.
John Eisner, Fund for a Life, LLC.
Yeah, fun to afford other stuff.
So the other organization I wanted to briefly mention, then we can talk about just generally these bills. I think it's important to talk about these organizations because they're incredibly incredibly right wing. Jesus, but I kind of made a Freudian slip there.
Sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Freudian slip there, and the board on the Eagle Forum, I believe, is entirely white.
That from now on. We should use that from now on.
White wing. I like it. White wing. Fox News, White Wing. Eagle Forum sounds very professional, very much is. So, John, I'm going to tell you this. Literally all you need to know about them you can find on the big, giant banner on their homepage, which says in all caps, because I think that the person who wrote this did not turn off caps lock, stop COVID-19 mandatory vaccines.
Yep.
Checks out.
What a shock.
So this, I don't know if you've heard of this person or not, but this was founded by Phyllis Schlafly, who basically was famous for hating feminism, gays, and abortion, and successfully campaigned against ratifying the Equal Rights Amendment. So really a fine gal. Eagle Forum described as pro-family, and what that means is anti-gay. Just so you know, if you needed a translation there. John, they literally give out an award every year called the Homemaker Award that honors women who choose to be full-time homemakers. And I say this, and it's not a bad thing if you're a full-time homemaker. My mom was, and that was great.
That is a full-time job. It really is.
It is. But their reasoning for this is why
that's where I knew this was going.
Right, because it kind of aligns with our friend Dobson. And so this is the description of the award. Celebrates the value of the full-time homemaker and her worthy contributions by providing a stable environment for teaching morals and values to the next generation. So basically what they're saying is the women need to stay home, and that's a good thing so they can teach morals to the kids, because if they don't, they will be morally depraved and be gay, probably.
How come it's never the dude's like responsibility?
Jesus, Bible, Adam and Eve, actually. That's why, because Eve, she had to take that. Yep.
I've seen their stores. I've seen what they stand for.
I've seen what they tell people to put up their butt, and it's scary. Anyway, the Eagle Forum, they're weirdly obsessed with transgender people. Okay. And so this is what they said on their website. They say that a, quote, transgender flood is coming to our schools, and Joe Biden is opening the floodgates. Now, I'm going to be transparent here. I have not read the Bible cover to cover. I don't think that that's the type of flood that was mentioned in there. So like already, and if you're fully bought into this, you're probably terrified, right? Because you're thinking, okay, not only are transgenders coming for me, it's a flood of them, and Joe Biden, socialist, Sleepy Joe, is going in all of his strength at 78 years old, opening a gate and letting the transgender people flood in. So they're priming the pump with that. They started a program called Christians Confronting the Culture Initiative. Again, these people all love alliteration, I guess. And this is like their coalition to combat transgender inclusive policies. And they wrote a book, John. Can you imagine what it's called? Sex, Lies, and Children.
Oh.
Yeah. It's apparently about anti-transgender stuff. So, of course, you would know about it with Sex, Lies, and Children. which is actually kind of funny because sex and lies typically yield children.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like they should have just put like sex, lies, schnapps, children.
And anyway, that's the Eagle Forum. It's really all you need to know about them. I want to give some background to these organizations that are pushing this because, again, important to emphasize, this is not a coincidence that I think it's like 20 states have the same bills, pretty much the same exact language starting out about banning transgender kids from sports, about banning them from medical care and the like. It's not a coincidence. It's coordinated by these well-funded interest groups who are motivated by these fundamentalist Christian ideologies, a lot of them. And that's not to shit on Christians. I'm a Christian, but it pisses me off because they use the name of God to do horrible, bigoted things. John, why are they doing this? Why are conservative politicians going along with this? Aren't they shooting themselves in the foot a little bit? Because, and the reason I say that is we've seen this come up before, right? I think I don't remember, it was 2017 when the quote unquote bathroom bill came up in Charlotte, North Carolina, or somewhere in North Carolina. And I think it was the NCAA pulled out of the tournament there and took all their money elsewhere. It's happened several times. Mm-hmm. I mean, what's the benefit? What's the value for conservative politicians doing this?
I like to call this the new abortion. That's what I call it, because if you remember, up until Ronald Reagan, abortion wasn't really talked about. It wasn't pushed by high-end politicians trying to gather votes based off one subject, and then it became one of the major voting issues that everybody votes on because it was easily manipulated, and that's exactly what this is. It's very easily manipulated. One side can say, look at all these dangerous people who will only continue to endanger your family, while the other side says, what the hell are you doing, and continues to remain stagnant. It's tough for Democrats to act in these. I shouldn't say Democrats, because I'm assuming there are Democrats that agree with this bill. It's tough for the other side to do anything at this point because there's no bill enacted. So they just continue to go about their ways and say, like, look, this is the way life is. And so it's essentially counterproductive to try and push other legislation against it because it's a pass. So you just kind of have to wait and see. But again, it's happening because it's easily manipulated. It's not a hard topic to understand for people.
Yeah. I think easily manipulated is a good way to frame it. I also think that they're taking advantage of people who are scared of change and confused by it, because a lot of these lawmakers are older, and when they were growing up, I would be willing to bet that transgender wasn't even a word in their vocabulary. And so they see how the world really doesn't really change. The world just, like, people are more open about who they are and are more comfortable, and the world has become more accepting over time. And I think there are people who are stuck in their ways and they're scared and they think that things should always be how they always were. And they're feeling threatened by that. And I mean, the same thing can be said about like immigration too. I think a lot of that stems from that, although there's very much a racial component there too. But I think it's that. And I just think, I don't know. I don't know how much of it's motivated by religion, but I think some of it certainly has to be.
Yeah, I would say definitely people are using religion as a way to kind of look through the veil. The other thing, and I am not making excuses for anyone, because I think it's total bullcrap, like what they're doing. I don't think it's right. I also think that everybody should be able to live their damn lives the way they want to live their lives. And then I do think that part of the reason too is that there are not a lot of people who know someone who is openly trans.
Yeah.
Right. Like they may know someone who's trans, but not know it. Right. But they don't know openly trans people. So it's essentially like looking at the other, like it's kind of like a unicorn to them, and they want to, make sure it doesn't get up. But if they actually, learn to know a person or to even love a person who is trans, then they would eventually see like this is just another human being. Like there's no difference here.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think that was one of the things that really helped turn the tide for accepting of gay marriage and just gay people in general was more and more people, as gay people felt comfortable coming out, more people realize, oh, like I have a person in my life that I love and care about who's gay, and their perspective changes. And so I think you're right. And I know people in my life who have flipped on just the issue, or I guess really come around to understanding the issue of being transgender, or just not even the issue, I shouldn't say issue, but just like
the fact that people are transgender.
There you go. Yeah. The fact that people are transgender because someone in their life has come out as transgender and wanted to confide in them about it. So I think you're right. And the more people that know someone who's transgender or met someone or love someone who is, I think things will hopefully improve. But this is just, I think we're going on a really bad path here because, the sports issue, number one, we should just state is not a problem. It's not an issue. It's a non-issue. Every credible entity's come out like that. Like this is not a problem in schools. It just isn't. So, but this is a small thing that will snowball into bigger things. And by bigger things, I mean more significant attacks legislatively on transgender people.
Oh, I didn't know if you were done there.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, well, we can go into my beef because my beef is somewhat on the subject.
Okay, well then let's roll into a beef because you beef is on this, so beef it up, Big John.
Well,
ladies and gentlemen, live from Parkersburg, West by God, Virginia, it's the 18 Husky himself, Beef with Big John.
It's this might be, write this down, this might be the first ever time we've had a real transition work out, because the topic that you just mentioned, where, playing sports and how people are, saying that this is a problem when it isn't, is exactly the beef for this week. Here's my beef with it, though. It's not the fact that people are saying it, it's the fact that it's their best argument. If this is your best argument, if your best argument is that males will pretend to be transgender so that they can play sports against girls, there's two problems with that. One, maybe we should stop punishing trans kids for male kids being assholes. Maybe we should actually look at the people who we're raising as men and say, we're doing a really terrible job if this is what we're afraid of, because this is what we continue to do. We go back and we blame people like trans people for other people's problems. Imagine this though, the problems that they're talking about, they have no association with actual trans people. They have issue with men being predators. That's what they have an issue with, which we can talk about males being predators all the time, right? But we don't. We choose to walk around that subject all the time because we're afraid to admit that we're raising males and men the wrong way, because a lot of the times we're creating predators and then we make excuses for it. It's kind of like the same constant go around when it comes to men being the people who are having the mass shootings, or men who are raping men, or men who continue to do awful things, to like assault women or even assault other males. We're at that point now that we are, and I'm a white guy, I'm a white male. I get all the excuses in the world, and to them, I could do nothing wrong, and that's disgusting. And until we fix that, there's really no sense in moving forward with a bunch of legislation, especially something that bans people. The other thing is, and I gotta say, I saw this on Twitter and I really like this, this idea. Chuck, do you know how much the average NBA player makes per year?
More than me, but no.
$7 million.
Okay.
That's the average. So if you sit on the bench, right, and you never play a minute, okay, you're probably going to make, let's say, $3 million. Sounds like a pretty good gig.
I'm great at sitting on the bench, so that would be amazing for me.
How much do high-end WNBA players make?
I feel like I saw this, and it's like $100,000.
$100,000. That would be a terrible con, because imagine somebody who's actually good, who's actually, you know, a man who's actually good at basketball, pretending to be a woman to put themselves into that position to make far less money. Maybe we should do it, because shit, maybe men will finally figure out what it's like to to have to live with the barriers that women have to. But the fact is, no one's going to pretend to do that based off of, you know, some of the things we're talking about, especially when it comes to money like that. No one's going to put themselves in that situation. If they do, they're beyond help at that point. And I mean, you just said it. You mentioned it just a second ago. Schools and school boards have already talked about this. These things aren't happening. Even where trans kids are allowed to play sports, these things are not happening. We're making a problem where there isn't one, which, to be fair, Congress loves to do. It's their thing. And in 2018, when I ran, Chuck, do you know how many times I was asked about the bathroom bill?
Like in West Virginia?
Right. Like transgender bans and stuff like that. Do you know how many times I was asked?
I have no idea, John. Tell me how many.
Zero. None whatsoever. Wasn't asked a single time. And I knocked on what, 20, I don't remember how many doors, a million. And well, it felt like a million. It felt like a million. And
you were going outside the district a lot. I was like, John, this is counterproductive.
Yeah, it's probably why I lost. None of these people are showing up.
Got a ton of votes coming out of Frederick, Maryland, though. Really, really good stuff.
Yeah, it was awesome. Anyway, I was never asked about it because it wasn't an issue, because it's not a real issue. It's something that politicians who are inept and insecure in their ways, they pull these out because they know that voters will listen to it, because if you can scare a voter, you can win a vote. That's how it works. That's why they do these things. And to come up with this issue and to put kids in this danger, because that's what this does. This is not just a bill that talks about, banning kids from transgender kids from sports. This puts them at danger. This makes them the other. This makes them dangerous, which if they become dangerous, that means there's going to be repercussions. People are going to go after these kids. And that's what blows my mind, is that we continue to not worry about these kids when it comes to mental health or even actual physical safety. So look, I know I'm ranting on this, but this is a topic that just infuriates me because it's so unneeded. Just let the kids be who they want to be. It's that simple. Let anybody be who they want to be.
Yeah, I agree. I think, stop being obsessed with who people are because it's different from you. That's my advice to them, because you know what? Guess what? We live in a world that is complex and does not fit neatly into a tiny box of worldview that they want to just pitch to people.
Well, for a party who likes to put the "Don't Tread on Me" flag on their desk, it's kind of hypocritical for them to constantly tread on individuals that they don't like.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So we're at that point now, though.
Yeah, it's a shame. Well, with that, let's wrap it up. Thank you all for listening. Appalachia.com. Go to social media. Yeah, new website. Check it out. Starry Eyes Media. They designed it for us. Thank you to the great people there.
You heard their ad earlier.
Ad earlier. Good people, good ad, good stuff. Go check it out. Subscribe to our newsletter, because you can do that now, and I'm going to get that out soon. And all the other stuff. Check out our store. It's on the show notes. You know what it is already. And have a wonderful day.